All right, so let's continue building off our prior knowledge to work through some more challenging questions here. So number 9 is 6 over x minus 5 plus x plus 2 over x minus 5. So when we're adding rational expressions, again, we need a common denominator. So they're exactly the same, so that is awesome. Okay, our common denominator is the same, so we don't have to find a common denominator because it already is common. So what we can do is add our numerators. So we can just take our 6 plus x plus 2. So I'm going to write this one left to right since our denominator is already the same. So we have 6 plus x plus 2 all over that same denominator of x minus 5. So now let's just look at the numerator and see if that can be simplified. So are any of those terms like? So we have 6 plus x plus 2. So I see two numbers, two whole numbers. We can combine this 6 and positive 2. 6 plus 2 gives us 8 plus x over x minus 5. Okay, we can't combine 8 and x, and we can't combine x and negative 5. So this is just our final answer, 8 plus x over x minus 5. All right, let's look at number 10. X over 4x squared y plus 3 over 14y cubed. So not the same denominator, so I'm going to write this one vertically. So I have 5 over 4x squared y plus 3 over 14y cubed. All right, so let's really think about this here. We need a common denominator. Okay, so let's just look at our coefficients here of 4 and 14. So 4 goes into 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. It's a pretty good list of what 4 goes into. If we look at 14, 14 goes into itself, into 28, into 44. So actually that's good enough because out of both lists I noticed that they have a common number of 28. So let's just carry over our 28 for now. So basically we dealt with our coefficient. Okay, 4 goes into 28 and 14 goes into 28. Now if we look at our x squared factor, and here there's no x's, but we know that this can go into itself, right? And this isn't present in this denominator at all, but it can go into it once I figure out what I'm to multiply it by. So we're going to carry over our x squared. And then y and y cubed. Well, y goes into y cubed, y times y times y. So we're going to choose the y cubed factor for our part of our common denominator. So our common denominator is 28x squared y cubed. So now it's kind of like a puzzle. We want to know what we're missing. Okay, what times 4x squared y gives us this? So we're going to break it up again. We're going to say, okay, 4, how many 4s in 28? There's 7. How many x squareds in x squared is 1. So we don't need to put times 1. And y times what gives us y cubed? Well, I have 1y here. I need to get y cubed here, so I need a y squared. Because y times y cubed gives me 3 y's when multiplied, or y cubed. So if I do that to my denominator, I have to do it up here to my numerator. So piece by piece again, let's just take our number factor. So 5 times 7 is 35. Y squared. Just take it, kind of taking on or tacking on at the end. So here, our coefficient of 14 and 28. How many times does 14 go into 28? That's twice. How many times does 14y cubed here needs to go into this x squared, so we're missing an x squared, and y cubed is already there. So we just need to multiply by that by 2x squared, because 14 times 2 gives me 28. X squared would just carry over this x squared, and y cubed would also just carry over. So let's multiply the numerator by 2x squared. So 3 times 2 is 6, and x squared, so 6x squared. Whew, that's a lot of work. So now let's combine our numerators. We have 35y squared plus 6x squared all over our common denominator of 28x squared y cubed. So that's our answer to number 10. So we're wrapping up now adding and subtracting rational expressions. Our next video will be on multiplying and dividing rational expressions, which a lot of students feel like multiplying and dividing should be more difficult, but with rational expressions it's actually easier. So when we multiply and divide rational numbers, we don't need a common denominator. So we can avoid this work of finding that common denominator. So it's pretty slick. So we'll do that for numbers 11 through 19.